Good evening, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So, we're going to start a new Otome game today. This one's called Radiant Tale, and it didn't take me to a main menu. It went straight into, would you like to configure your options? And now we are in the game, so... Yep, that's where we are. And hello, Drag. How you doing? I see the chat box is working today. I've literally changed nothing about it. I have no idea why it doesn't work sometimes. But it's nice to see it working today. All right then. I need to get up to some game audio so that I can tell how the audio balance is. But yeah, let's just get into it. From backstage, I stole a peek at the audience. Under the dim light, one particular guest sat there in silence. His face was like an ice sculpture, still, motionless. We had come this far just to make a smile bloom on his face.
ほら、シャンとなさい。そんな緊張で引きつった顔じゃ、誰も笑顔になんてできないわよ。誰かを笑顔にするには、まずは自分からでしょ?
That's right. Soon, the final show would begin. Ah, we have music now. How's the audio balance, chat? Do I need to fix anything? I think from my end it looks okay. Audio balance seems right. Good. Alright. Together, we would all do our best to make one single person smile. No, let me correct that. To see everybody here leave with a smile. So please, all of you, please.
心配すんな。ちゃんとやってやる。
Oh, little paw. He can't reach far enough in to put his hand in the middle.
きっと素敵なパフォーマンスになるよ。約束しよう。期待は決して裏切らない。一発で決めるぞ。私たちの本気見せてあげましょう。頑張ろう、みんなで。大丈夫。絶対うまくいくさ。
I felt almighty when we stood on the stage. Together, we could do anything. I was surrounded by trusted comrades with whom I had shared both joys and sorrows. My lips curled into a grin and I drew in a deep breath. Then, let us begin.
It's showtime!
Straight into the opening video. This is where we get to play the game of Kalla wants to romance and who's she actually going to end up romancing? Yeah, just visually, I know which one I want. I also know it's roots locked because I looked it up in advance.
さあ、ここにサインしてちょうだい。大丈夫。何も迷うことなんてないわ。わかってるでしょ。そこに名前を書くだけで、あなたの欲しいものが手に入る。
Well, what are we signing?
だからほら、さっさとサインしてしまいなさいな。さ、早く。
You know, obviously this is going to be the way for the game to get your name. And I'm just going to leave it as the default. Because often if you leave it as the default, it will actually be voiced. I don't know if that's the case in this game or not. But it looks like our MC's name is Tifalia. So we'll leave that as the default. Oh, it starts. There we go.
マイダリー。
What seemed like a normal day turned out to be the start of my adventure. How is this my life? Escalotia. We have a glossary entry. The only continent on this planet. Many different races and species live here in a melting pot of humans, spirits, fey beasts, and so on. The entire continent is united as one country, and there are no large-scale conflicts. Depending on the region, the climate may be slightly different, but the environment is comfortable and peaceful wherever you go. Alright. Okay, Escalotia is a peaceful country under the rule of our royal family. I guess we have one for royalty as well. The descendants of Arthur, the first king. They live in the castle located in the capital, also called Arthur, and rule over Escalotia. I am gonna butcher so many of these fantasy names. It's a hereditary monarchy dating all the way back to 1,000 years ago. Without fail, every generation of the royalty are born with an affinity for all the elements and an outstanding talent for magic. Alright. Hello Nick, how you doing? Hotel Heart is the capital, Arthur. The city founded by the first king of Escaltia or Escaltia? Arthur. As the capital, it acts as the heart of the country. It's a commercial city more prosperous than anywhere else, and both people and goods gather here from all over the continent. Yeah, basically we've just had an in media res opening and then just the opening video. You guys should really place a bet when we meet our love interests as to whose route I'm going to end up on. So I bet it's not going to be who I'm aiming for to start with. Anyway. And on a street slightly off the main road sits Liba, a small tavern. An inn located in the capital Arthur. Although it's a small establishment off the main drag, it has many regulars and is secretly popular with locals. Honeyed pumpkin meat gratin and honey pancakes are the most ordered fare. That's a lot of honey. Today, like any other day, I'm working here with my family.
Tifalia! はい、これ。カウンターの子に出してくれ。
Ah, good. This is one of those where when you leave it as default, it gets voiced. You didn't focus on it, Jack. Well, we'll meet them soon enough. Right away. Spirea. The shopkeeper, Spirea, handed me a dessert and I served it to our dear customer. Spirea, our heroine's aunt. Spirea took the girl under her wing after her parents passed away. The shopkeeper of Leva, an inn and tavern located near Central Arthia. Strong-willed, daring and decisive, she's the type who is direct about everything. Also a widow. So we have a cool aunt. Sorry for the wait. Here's Leva's speciality, a honey pancake. No, I meant, yeah, if you leave the heroine's name as default, it tends to get voiced when other characters talk to her. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a lot more frequently in modern Otome games. Which is why I take to leaving it default a lot. Because otherwise you sort of get a pause. The MC is very rarely voiced. Leva's signature sweet treat made by Spirea. The fluffy melt-in-your-mouth texture combined with the subtle sweetness of honey makes these pancakes irresistible. Our heroine's favourite food. It's a good choice of a favourite food. Slightly odd-looking pancake, though. It looks a bit more like a hot cross bun.
あんた本当にここのパンケーキ好きよね。いろんな場所のパンケーキ食べてきたけど、やっぱりスピリエさんの作るパンケーキが一番しっくりくるのよ。
おや、それはありがたいね。
Please feel free to come anytime. I knew it best. Spirea's cooking was the tastiest in the whole world. But hearing it from the mouth of a customer still sent me over the moon.
そういえば、あんたこの前オリエンスに行ってきたんでしょ？どうだったの？
Alright, where's Oriens? The city founded by Leve, the great spirit of water. Many citizens are passionate and filled with love, leading to a culture that places importance on arts and literature. It's the birthplace of many different forms of entertainment. The city itself is constructed on the ocean, and there are many canals running through the area. Yeah, it's fantasy Venice. Thus, the main mode of transport is by ferry. The cityscape is laid back and artistic, which attracts many tourists who come here looking for a resort destination.
もう最高だったよ。景色は綺麗だし、ご飯は美味しいし。
No wonder Oriens is so famous as a tourist spot. I'm a little jealous.
そうそう、愛の街オリエンス。運命の人に出会えるかもしれないし、私も行ってみたい。今度みんなで行こうよ、オリエンス。私案内するよ。いいね。ティファリアちゃんも一緒に行こうよ。
Well, I have my job to attend to, so I can't. I'm sorry.
お仕事そんなに忙しい？確かにリーベルはいつもにぎわってるけど、数日くらいならスピリアさんも OK 出してくれるんじゃない？ねえ、スピリアさん。
I have to get some water for that customer over there. Sorry, gotta go.
あらら、行っちゃった。
Yeah, so we have a specific thing to warn us when people are talking about us behind our back. I mean, not exactly that.
やっぱり結構忙しいんですか？
まあ、ありがたいことに、それなりに忙しいけどね。旅行くらいなら行かせてやれるんだけどね。頑張ってくれるのは嬉しいけど、もうちょっと自分のことにも目を向けてもらいたいもんだよ。
And back to the MC. Excuse me, I'll refill your glass.
ああ、どうもありがとう。
お、なんだティワリア。あっちのお客さんの相手はもういいのか？
Fluff! Look at the fluff! From a chair next to the man I was serving, a pink fur ball poked up its head. So his head. He was the other member of my family. Yep, Spirea's around, so everything's fine, Rady. Rady, a small fey beast with fluffy pink fur. Even though he's a little careless and gets rowdy when drunk, he's a reliable partner who will always come to our heroine's rescue. Now that he's lived with her and Spirea for 10 years, Rady has become an invaluable member of the family. While I replied to him, I poured water into the man's empty glass.
ああ、そうだ。このお客さん、今度うちに泊まろうかってさ。
田舎者だからか、どうも表通りの大きな宿は落ち着かなくて。
Ah, I see. May I ask where you came from? Looks like a carbuncle. Yeah, a little bit, right? With a little jewel on its head and stuff.
クルトラ近くの小さな町だよ。
Small town near Cultura. Okay, where's Cultura? A city founded by Libera, the great spirit of wind. Located in the western region of the continent, it is governed by a hereditary ruler called the Labyrinth Sentinel. Many skilled craftspeople open their workshops in the underground labyrinth. Okay. Because any items created there are imbued with the wind spirit's divine protection. This is how Cultura became a city of craftsmen. Wow, why can I not say the word craftsmanship? There we go, I said it that time.
ほら、クルトラって工芸品が有名だろ。その関係でオートに来てるんだってよ。
The tools made in Cultura are also some of our favorites.
それは嬉しいね。次にオートに来た時はよろしく頼むよ。ここならゆっくりくつろげそうだ。
I'm looking forward to it.
ティワリア、料理ができたから運んでおくれ。
Ah, coming! Sorry for the wait. Here is the colourful omelette you ordered. Colourful omelette. An omelette that has plenty of vegetables, both a feast for the mouth and eyes. One of Lieber's dishes. The sauce is selected to match the customer's palate.
コーヒーは食後に持ってくるからな。
Ah, please use these to your liking. This is ketchup and a herb sauce. Here you go. Herbs. A general term for plants used in spices and medicine. Cultura is well known for its herb cultivation, and it is home to species like sylph basil and Cultura parsley.
Oh yeah? このハーブは
You said you came from near Cultura, so we made a herb from the sources that are... No, that was the wrong way around. Yeah, I did notice that as well. Maybe it expected me to say... Maybe it expected me not to voice the H. You said you came from near Cultura, so we made a sauce from the herbs that are often used there. This may not be the same as what you have at home. but I hope this can soothe the fatigue from your journey in some way.
素敵なサービスだね。早速いただくよ。
Then, as the customer had a taste of the food, ooh, gently the floating chloris bloomed. Okay, what is this? A mystic flower that blooms in reaction to positive emotions such as joy. Ah, useful. Wow, that made him really happy, huh? A chloris was a mystic flower that bloomed whenever a heart was filled with pure elation. Mystic flower. Unlike normal flowers, this mysterious flower suddenly appears when specific conditions are met. We couldn't make it bloom in any other way, which meant that this happiness was genuine.
母親の味を思い出すね。とても美味しいよ。ありがとう。この花は感謝の証として君が受け取ってくれるかい？
Nothing makes me happier than seeing your joy. Thank you, I will.
どうぞごゆっくりってな。
We looked at each other and we had a brilliant grin on our faces. Seeing the smiles of our customers always made my day. It made me want to work even harder from now on. Thank you very much. Do we have some of them in our world? Where flowers that bloom in response to pure joy? Yeah, probably not. It's probably a little too magical for this world, huh? After I saw off our last lunch customer, I flipped over the sign on the door. We would close the shop until evening to take a break and prepare for dinner time. Phew. A lot of customers came today, and one of them was so happy that a chloris bloomed. I need to work hard tonight too. Today, tomorrow, and beyond. My normal everyday life would repeat forever and ever, just like this. Well, I mean, obviously it's not going to, because otherwise we wouldn't have a story. But this is what Tifalia thinks. I had never had any complaints about it, but...
今度みんなで行こうよ、オリエンス。私、案内するよ。いいね。ティファリアちゃんも一緒に行こうよ。
Horians, huh? I hear that they move around the city on ferries, that you can even breathe underwater inside the underwater park. Ooh. Underwater Park. A park located underwater inside Oriens. The area itself is preserved by Leaves magic. Though a visitor can feel that they're in the water, they can breathe, and their clothes don't get wet either. If you crane your head, you can see the fish swimming by and the ferries on the surface. An enchanting sight. A popular tourist attraction. Our customers bring it up pretty often. What kind of place is it, I wonder? Everyone who had visited the city looked ecstatic when they described it. It wasn't just Oriens. I wanted to see Cultura's Labyrinth and the arenas of Ferris someday too. Basically Blueberry Academy. Yeah, except that you can't see that you're underwater in Blueberry Academy though, because they have the fake sky. Ferris. The city is founded by Valen, the great spirit of fire, located at the base of the only volcano on the continent. The entire structure of the city is like a giant round arena. The outer ring is the residential area, and the inner ring has commercial facilities. The training for the public security forces is held in Ferris, and it's the headquarters of combat against fiends. But right now, Liba's more important to me. For me, the definition of happiness was living a peaceful, ordinary life without any twists or turns.
看板ひっくり返すだけにえらく時間かかってると思ったな。
Oh!
ぼーっとしてどうしたんね？もしかしていい男でも見つけたか？
Brady. Hardly. Remember what I always say? Romance isn't for me yet, thanks.
まだってとっくにそういう年頃だろ？ちょっとくらい興味持てよ。
Fine as I am. I want to cherish the normal life that I have. After my mom and dad died, I was all alone, but Spirea took me under her wing and raised me. You were always by my side too, Rady. Living with you two has given me the happiest days of my life.
うん。
Well,
それは分かってるし、お前の気持ちは嬉しいぜ。
that was the sound of a distant scream. What was that?
でもよ、ティファリア、それだけじゃ。どいてくれ
Huh? The voice was clearly getting closer, and on reflex I looked up when... Thump. Yeah.
いや
Something fell from the sky. Ah, a cute boy. I opened my eyes slightly, and what I saw was stark crimson against the blue expanse above.
あれ、大丈夫か？
What? I blinked a few times and finally my vision cleared up. What came into focus before me was... a person? Striking red hair and wide eyes. It was a man. Huh? A man fell from the sky. Yeah, you're right, Treg. That is a way to make an entrance. It's like that whole running late to school and running into someone, except that he fell out of the sky instead.
よかった。生きてたな。
Yep, you didn't crush a girl. Well, congratulations.
人間って俺らよりずっと脆いから壊しちまったかと思った。
I stared at him gobsmacked, and he let out a sigh of relief. Then the barrage of excuses began.
こんなとこに降りる気なかったんだけど突然だったからさ。途中であんたに気づいて肝が冷えたぜ。慌てて避けたはいいものの今度は見事にバランス崩しちまって。
Huh?
ぶつかった時頭とか打ってないか？怪我とかしてないか？
I'm fine?
そっか、無事でよかった。
Oh, he's cute.
安心したぜ。しかし都会って空まで狭いのな。
More importantly, I'm assuming this is going to be, can you get off me?
あんたこの町の人か？俺つい最近オートに来たばかりでさ。
I think you're missing the point here.
いい加減どきやがれこの野郎。
Ah, Rady's gonna tell him off for us.
どこのドイツか知らねえが女の上に乗ったまま世間話してんじゃんね。
Watch how you say that.
そうか、悪かった。
いや素直かよ。
Rady sighed, looking exasperated, before he came to me still sprawled on the ground. He bit my sleeve and tugged hard. Thanks, and before we continue... I got to my feet, looked at Rady and the man with the red hair, and gestured gingerly to the door. How about we go inside and continue our conversation there? Where I can sit down. Without customers, the tavern was silent. I didn't see Spirea around either. She was probably cleaning on the second floor. The only ones present were the redhead looking around the tavern, intrigued, along with us, who were watching him silently. It was so awkward. But of course, I could always count on Rady during moments like these.
つうわけで、お前誰だ？その気配、厳重だろ？種族は？
Fey beasts. Animals with an elemental affinity that can speak the human language and communicate with humans. In numbers, they are very few compared to humans, and since most of them live in villages among their own race, they are a rare sight in urban areas. Fey are also more in tune with nature than humans, and many of them can use magic in the element they have a natural affinity for. What? Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not human. He said, "You humans," earlier to Valia. Fey? This man is a Fey? I mean, also, did you not notice the slit pupils? Some Fey could take on a humanoid form. Some Fey beasts can take on a human form. Those who can transform might mingle and even live with humans in their cities. Due to their inability to wow, I'm really tripping over my tongue today. Due to their inability to detect mana, humans can't differentiate between Fey beasts in disguise and members of their own kind. But obviously Rady being a Fey beast can tell her. Sometimes they'd show up in our tavern as customers, but they'd look so human that I wouldn't have had a clue until Rady told me. I couldn't keep myself from staring at him. He grinned in response and nodded.
ああ、そういえば自己紹介してなかったよな。俺はビリオ。よろしくな。お察しの通り厳重で、種族は聞いて驚け。ドラゴンだ。
He's a dragon. Bilio, a dragon who looks like a young man. He has only just left his homeland for the first time. Dragons are said to be the strongest Fae, but Vilio doesn't have the kind of grandeur that would make him seem unapproachable. He's both friendly and cheerful. Since it's the first time he's taken a step out into the big wide world, he's curious about everything.
はあ？ドラゴン？
A dragon? He said he's a dragon! Oh, what should I do? How are we supposed to welcome such an esteemed guest?
待て待て、落ち着け。本物のドラゴンがこんな街中にひょっこり現れてたまるか。
You have a point there, but does that mean he's lying?
気配は確かに厳重だし、魔力は相当強いみたいだが。
Mana. A power created from polished elements. Fey beasts and spirits can produce mana inside their bodies. Mana is consumed during magic use, but will gradually replenish. Hmm?
よく見ろ。ドラゴンにしては威厳がねほら、なんかバカっぽいぞ。
He does, doesn't he? Hey, that's rude. He looks like he's easy to get along with. What's wrong with that?
大方都会に出てきて舞い上がってんだろ。ガキの見えっ張りっつうか。
You really think so?
客になるかもしれねえし、ここは付き合ってやろうぜ。大人の優しさってやつだ。
How old are you, really? Okay.
おい、どうかしたか？
You know, I've got to say, so far, Vilio, very much my type, Otome game-wise. It's really unfortunate that I know he's the only locked route in the game. Oh, it's nothing at all. Pretending like nothing happened, we returned to the self-proclaimed dragon.
で、なんで空から落ちてきたんだよ。
You say what other things fly. I mean, I can think of a lot of potential fey creatures that could fly. But
それがさ、結構高いとこ飛んでたんだけど、下の人間に気づかれそうになって。騒ぎになるとまずいし、変身解いてそこら辺の屋根に降りようとしたら、いきなり白いふわふわが出てきて。
he's an idiot! I didn't want to make a scene by being a flying dragon. So I decided to make a scene by falling out of the sky.
慌てて避けたら、今度はその先にあんたがいたってわけだ。
白いふわふわ。それ、ウールー便じゃねえのか？
Wooloo Post. A postal service used by everyone in Eschlatia. It is staffed by Wooloo, a type of flying fae. There you go, Drag. That's something else that can fly. They can only just deliver small and light items such as letters. In exchange, the prices are kept to a minimum. Inside urban areas, there are restrictions on other fae flying. Wow. My tongue is so not behaving today. Inside urban areas, there are restrictions on other fae flying during their delivery hours. Rarely there are accidents where they collide with fae that are new to the city and have only recently left more isolated hometowns. I mean, I guess his thought process was, big dragon might make people stare too much. It's a dragon. So I guess he didn't want to turn back into a dragon again just before he hit the ground or something. Also, I want to see the Wooloos now. They sound fluffy. That's adorable! Screenshots. Little flying ram. I want one. Fae who deliver mail, like letters and packages.
へえ、そんなやつがいるのか。都会ってすげえんだな。
He lived in a remote area that doesn't even have Wooloo Post? Where in the world?
ついでに言うと、この時間帯の空はあいつらウールー便の専用区間だ。好き勝手飛んでたお前が悪い。
なるほどな。わかった。これから気をつける。
Bilio seemed like a nice young man. That's true. When he nodded humbly, he looked even younger and a smile grew on my face. And we should introduce ourselves too. I'm Tifalia. I work at this tavern, Liba.
俺様はラディだ。よろしくな、ビリオ。
ああ、よろしく。あんたは人型にならねえのか？
Yeah. I'm guessing Wooloo isn't trademarked. The thing is, Rady can't transform.
え？そうなのか？
そうだ。このプリッチーなボディがラディ様のすべてだぜ。
It's fine, Raddy. You don't need to transform into human form. You look perfect and fluffy the way you are. I wish to fluff the ready.
そっか。あんたがそう言うならそうなんだろうな。
If you say that, it must be true. It sounds familiar.
てか、そういうプライベートなことはあんまり聞いたりしない方がいいぜ。お前はあまりにも不審だったから素性を知るために問いただしたが、普通に人型で生活してる奴らの中には自分が厳重だってことをむやみに広めたくない奴もいるからな。自分から明かす分には構わねえが、普通は聞かないのがマナーだ。
Fae manners. Some Fae hide their true identity while living in their human forms. Thus, even if you come across a Fae in human form, there's an unwritten rule dictating that you must not ask them about their race.
わかった。気をつける。いろいろ教えてくれてありがとな。ついでにもう一つ聞きたいんだけど、この辺でどこかいい宿を知らないか？今夜泊まる場所探しててさ。
Do you know any good inns? Well! Well! You're standing in one.
なら、うちに泊まってけよ。
Aliba also offers accommodations.
本当か？やったー！あ、他にあと3人いるんだけど、大丈夫か？
3 more people. Where are they, and are they likely to be falling out of the sky as well? Yeah, no problem at all.
よし、じゃあ早速スピレアに。
騒がしいね。上まで声が響いてたけど、何かあったかい？
Ah, Spirea. You have good timing.
おや、お客さんかい。
ああ、今日泊まることになったビリオってやつだ。
よろしく。
ああ、ゆっくりしていきな。
他の奴らも宿を探してると思うから、早速呼びに行かなきゃな。
どこかで待ち合わせでもしてるのか？
よ、とりあえずそこら辺歩いてれば見つかるかなって。
He's so dumb. I love him.
お前、ここはオートだぞ。人も多いし、闇雲に歩き回ったって疲れるだけだ。
だったら案内しておやりよ。あとは夕食の仕込みだけだし、こっちは私だけで大丈夫だから。
いいのか？助かる。
ま、乗りかかった船か。仕方ねえな。
出かけるついでに用事も済ませてきてくれるかい？
Sure, leave it to us. After confirming the details with Spirea, we wasted no time and left immediately. We didn't have too much on our shopping list, so even if we had to look for Vilio's friends along the way, it probably wouldn't take long. Okay, so what kind of people are we looking for?
とにかく口が悪いザフォラだろ。見た目が水みたいなパスハリアに、あとすっげえ強そうなイーオン。
Okay, someone who's rude, someone who looks like water, and someone who's really strong. That's not a lot to work with.
いや、名前以外何もわかんねえよ。本当に連れか？
ああ、それから派手な貴族のジーニアには宿が決まったって報告しねえと。
Aristocrat. King Arthia's subjects who'd made contributions to Eslotia's prosperity. Wow. I can't talk today, I'm really sorry, guys. To Eslotia's prosperity were granted special privileges, and over time people began calling them nobles and aristocrats. Even in the modern day, many aristocrats participate in the world of politics, and Ginia is one of them.
貴族のジーニアってあの？
Ginia, not Ginia. Yeah, I think he's probably referring to the Ginia everybody gossips about. In Arthia, Genio was the flashiest and most conspicuous aristocrat around. I'd only seen him from afar, but I was willing to bet he was one of a kind.
ジーニアは城にいるって言ってた。
Oh, so you do know where to find one of your people.
なら名前以外全く手がかりのない3人の方は置いとくとして、とりあえずは城からだな。スピレアから預かったクロリスを届けるついでに見てこようぜ。
Sounds like a plan. Filio, is that all right with you?
おう。
Ah, we got a map! Map! We can only select one place on the map, but... Map! A magnificent castle stood in front of the plaza at the heart of Arthea City. It was the residence of the royal family, but it was also significant to the inhabitants of Arthea. We would come to register our marriages and residences. We would even come to resolve everyday troubles. Though... lately I think most people come here to deliver chloris. You think it looks like a big Pokeball, huh, Drag? Yeah, I could see that. See, I was looking at the layout and going, circular city with a wall. Do we have another fantasy place based on Nordlingen? It doesn't look like Nordlingen though visually, so that's fine. We headed towards the end of the line at the counter and waited our turn.
ここに来てる奴ら、全員クロリスを届けに来てるのか？
I don't think everyone is, but from the look of it, most people are.
それにしても一体いつまで続くんだろうな、このクロリス集め。
Yeah, what are they collecting those joy flowers for? Chloris collection. The nectar of Chloris is said to be an effective treatment for the prince, whose heart has been frozen. And the government has requested that everyone in the country donate Chloris whenever possible. Ah. Yeah, medieval cities like that, they really are frequent. The number of times I'm watching an isekai and then I get a view of the town from above and I'm like, yep, it's Nordlingen again. This season, Fluffy Paradise is the one. Although that one's a lot more evenly arranged and symmetrical, so... Konosuba? Yeah. Literally the first time I saw that town from above, which I think is in the... Is it in the ending theme? I literally turned to my friends I was watching it with and went, it's Nordlingen again! Konosuba's almost exact on it, so I think. If I remember rightly. Yeah, I hope Prince Kalivas recovers as soon as possible. Kalivas. 1. A prince of Islotia and the only heir to the throne. In age, he is supposed to be 17, but due to the spell he cast on himself, he retains the appearance of a child. His heart is frozen and expresses little emotion, almost like a living doll. Ah, was it the opening theme, Drag? Oh yeah, of course, because the opening theme of an anime usually plays at the end of the first episode. That'll be why I got confused. Yeah. I know what that town looks like from above really, really well, and it makes it really obvious for. Anyway. So the prince cast a spell on himself. Huh? The prince with the frozen heart. That was what we all called Prince Colivus. "10 years ago, when he was only 7, he went on a fiend raid for the first time. The fiend was stronger than expected. The public safety forces fought fiercely, but the fiend broke free and went for the prince. He cast a spell to protect himself. As a result, the prince came out unharmed, but the spell had side effects that had frozen his heart and his body's internal clock. Fiend. A creature like no other, born from the negative feelings of living things. They are infamously dangerous and hostile towards others. The larger they are, the greater their strength. Whatever their size, however, they are of lesser intelligence and cannot speak. Security forces. The public security forces are an organisation founded in the castle with the job of upholding the peace in Ishlotia. Their job description spans across a variety of fields: criminal investigation, patrolling the streets, as well as subjugating fiends. Their headquarters is in Ferris, and the officers undergo their training there. There are outposts in many other areas around the country. Magic. A phenomenon caused by channeling mana. Spirits, fey beasts, and humans who've made a contract with a spirit are the only ones who can use magic. The 4 magical elements are fire, wind, water, and earth. Spirits and fey beasts can only use one element, while humans can only use the elements for their contracted spirit. So, also only one element, I guess. The royal family receives divine protection from the 4 great spirits, so they alone can use all the elements of magic without contracts. Okay, or maybe if you're a human you can contract with more than one spirit, I don't know. He was supposed to turn 17 this year, but he hasn't grown even 1 inch in a decade. Even worse, he'd lost his emotions and he couldn't talk or even move on his own. Prince Colivus was born with an impressive mana pool, and everyone had high hopes for his future. These events caused great sadness in the king and people both, and researchers had worked tirelessly to find some solution. Then, after an entire 7 years of testing, they discovered that chloris were a possible treatment for the prince. Ever since then, the king has been gathering blooming chloris for his son with the aid of the entire country. We were told that ingesting the nectar of the chloris would have some effect on the prince, but in truth, we didn't know much.
次の方はどうぞ。
Please accept these.
ああ、リーベルの方ですね。いつもありがとうございます。
It's nothing. I'm only doing what's normal for a citizen of Arthia.
ところでよ、ジーニアってやつに用があるんだが、呼んでもらえるか？
ジーニア様ですか？
ビリオが呼んでるって伝えてくれ。それでわかると思うぜ。
承知しました。ビリオ様ですね。
We waited a while after that before a rather ostentatious person walked out of the castle.
遅かったじゃないの、ビリオ。ちゃんと宿は見つけたんでしょうね。
See? Wow, he's as flashy as always. His mannerisms and speech were rather unique for a man, but nothing could beat his looks. This was Genia, and I could honestly see how he'd earned his fame through gossip.
おうジーニア、リーベルって店に決めてきたぜ。
リーベル？
ああ、こっちのティファリアとラディはそこの店員なんだ。 すげえ親切にしてくれてさ、助かった。
It's an honor to meet you. I'm a staff member at Liba.
こいつが泊まるらしいからな。報告に来てやったぜ。よろしくな。
あら、それはわざわざどうも。リーベルね。
After hearing that name, Ginia seemed to mull over something as he stared me down. It's really hard to stay calm when a person like him is looking at me like that.
わかったわ。今日はそこに泊まってちょうだい。夕食は私も一緒にその店で取るから。他の子たちも集めておいて。私も後で向かうからよろしくね。
あ、
The Genia made that request, he immediately went back inside the castle. Phew, that was nerve-wracking.
貴族と会話するなんてめったにねえからな。無理もね
そうか。やっぱりジーニアって偉いやつなんだな。
He says that, but Ginia's attitude wasn't respectable at all in my eyes.
んで、あと3人を探すんだっけか。
あ、多分今も宿を探してるはずだから伝えに行かねえと。
Let's see. A person with a sharp tongue, a water-like person, and a strong person. Can we really find them with that little information?
とりあえず宿のあるあたりを回りながら連れの話も詳しく聞こうぜ。
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Let's just wander. Okay, we get to pick some places. Alright. Place called Cheers. An alley. Plaza. The main streets. Okay, where should we go? Cheers! Sounds like it could be an inn. I mean, its icon is literally 2 beer tankards. Equally, we were told earlier that there's a bunch of inns on the main streets. So I'm thinking one of those two. I think Cheers. Yeah, let's go to this. Possibly an inn.
ここがチアーズって店か。リーベルとは随分雰囲気違うんだな。
Cheers. A pub and general store owned by Leanne. They have long operating hours and business is always thriving. It's a big chain that has a branch in every city. Okay, it's a pub and a general store, it's not actually an inn.
こっちは飯屋兼雑貨屋ってやつで、うちと違って各都市に展開してる大型店だからな。
ってことは他の都市にも同じ店があるのか？
We've never gone to any of the others, but I hear that there's one in each major city.
へえ、面白いな。
Going to places where people tend to gather would be the best place. It would be the best. No. Try that line again. Going to places where people tend to gather would be the best choice if we wanted to find someone. So we came to Cheers. Yep. Because the tavern is where you find your adventuring party, typically, right? I also had an errand from Spirea, so it was killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
あれ、目を奪われるような可愛い子が入ってきたと思ったら。ティファリア、いらっしゃい。来てくれて嬉しいな。
He's also cute. Lian, the owner of Cheers, greeted us in his usual demeanor.
何か飲む？フードの方がいいかな。あ、わかった。デートのお誘いでしょう。もう、そうならそう言ってくれたらいいのに。
Can we blame the fact that it's a Wednesday when I don't normally stream? Yeah, let's go with that. We'll go with that.
集金以外で来ねえだろうが、出すもん出しやがれ。
ねえ、期待させといてそりゃないよ。
誰も期待なんてさせてねえよ。
Doesn't he get tired of this charade? Lian was also a regular at Liba, but he often forgot his wallet and put the bill on his tab every time, which meant that we had to come collect it occasionally.
集金ってのは口実で、本当はデートのお誘いでしょ？ねえ。
Look how long his hair is! Whew. Here you go, this is your invoice. It comes to a total of 8,900 R. Wow. Okay. Currency used in Ishlatia. 1 apple is about 100 R. Okay. Rao is probably approximately yen, right? Actually, maybe it's more than that. I don't know. So his bill is the equivalent of 89 apples. How much did he drink? / eat.
デート。
No date, just bill. Please pay your tab.
はい。相変わらずガード硬いな。まあそんな君も好きだけどね。
Lian spouted words of honey that didn't stick at all, but at least he paid in full at the same time. Lian, the owner of the mysterious pub Cheers, which can be found in every city, has a flippant attitude and often jokingly flirts with their heroine. Despite this, he is quite skillful at managing every branch of his pub, and their heroine respects him for that. You know, he owns the entire chain. Oh. Okay, we have received your money. Please visit our tavern again.
まさかもう帰るの？ドライすぎない？
Yeah, our business here is done. From what I could see, the people we were looking for were unfortunately absent from this establishment, so...
ところでさ、さっきからずっと気になってたんだけど、あそこにいる彼は君のお友達？なんかすごくはしゃいでるけど。
What's Vilio doing?
なあ、これは何を食べてるんだ？シャーベット。甘い氷？そんなのがあるんだな。この道具はどうやって使うんだ？てか、何ができるんだ？火がつけられる。なるほど。魔法が使えない代わりにこういうの使ってるのか。なあなあ、これは
Vilio had slipped away unnoticed at some point and was now going around the pub. Why does it feel like Vilio got isekai'd? Yep. Yeah, I could see that. Like, ooh, what's that? What's that? They don't have those where I come from. Where he came from is obviously an extremely isolated village. Everything he saw caught his interest, and he was practically interrogating everyone he saw. Sorry. Give me a moment, I'll call him over here.
別にいいよ。彼、都会は初めてみたいだね。
今日うちに泊まる客なんだ。ずいぶんな田舎から出てきたみてえだぜ。
Yep, that's really such a very remote place.
彼、厳重だよね。
ああ、そうらしい。
なんだなんだ、俺の話か？
お、戻ってきたな。
はじめまして。俺はリアン。聞いたよ。君も厳重なんだね。
おお、俺はビリオ、ドラゴンだ。
Hello, Silzil. Welcome to the stream.
へえ、ドラゴンね。ドラゴン？ドラゴンってあの？
Oh, about that.
まあ、あれだ。若いからな、ドラゴンってのは。な。
No, really, are you implying he's a Chinibio?
ああ、なるほど。そういう感じ。そっかそっか、ドラゴンか。なるほどなるほど。すごいね。
Poor Billio, no one believes him.
まあな、あんたも。
ん？
ああ、いや、なんでもない。
Did he just remember what we told him about manners?
じゃあ、用事も済んだし行くか。
Yeah, you're right.
はーい、また来てね。困ったことがあればいつでもこの店を頼ってくれていいからね。
With Leon's merry voice behind us, we left cheers. Alright, I'm guessing the three people we're looking for are in these three locations then anyway. But we were told that the main streets is where there are definitely other inns, so we'll go look there. If they were looking for inns, the main street was the first place that came to mind. And after making that conclusion, we decided to split up in three directions and look around in places that offered lodging. That being said, finding someone I know nothing about seems pretty hard. Villia was pretty optimistic about it, saying that we'd recognise them on sight, but... While thinking that, I was peering into inns when there was a sudden pat on my shoulder. Yes, may I help? At the moment I turned around...
Oi.
What? A man with a very large build was staring down at me. His eyes were like daggers and I cowered. Scary. He was so scary. Why are you glaring at me without a word? Found you somehow? Though Arthia was a safe city, sometimes I would still be harassed by shady people. I was on high alert and my whole body tensed. Then he thrust out his arm and... What's with his eye? You mean the fact he's got an eye patch, or the fact that his eye, the eye we can see is red? I'm so sorry. Fearing that he was going to grab me, I ran for it. I'm going to jump out of my skin. Okay, I need to head to the meeting place right now.
待て。
What? That man's following me? Why? I didn't dare turn around and kept running frantically towards our meeting point. When I finally spotted the other two, I nearly burst into tears of relief.
おーティファリア、やっと来たな。
お、そんなに慌ててどうしたんだ？
I mean, I guess at some point during the game we might find out why he's got an eye patch, but I don't know, but the other thing could just be character design. Oh, I'm being chased! Being chased by one of the people you were supposed to be trying to find, I'm pretty sure, but...
何？
The two immediately stood in front of me to shield me from my pursuer. However, the instant that scary man appeared...
なんだ、いい音じゃねえか。
ビデオか。
Huh?
ちょうどよかった、探してたんだ。宿見つかったぜ。
そうか。それはよかった。
My jaw dropped at the two who started chatting right away. Then Radio let out a long sigh.
なんか変な誤解があったみてえだな。
Yep, that's true.
おい、お前なんでこいつのことを追いかけてたんだ？
ハンカチを落としたので渡そうと。
Aww. He was just trying to be nice and return a handkerchief. But he's big and scary and intimidating. Oh!
怖がらせたようですまなかった。
As he spoke, Ion held out a familiar handkerchief to me. I'm sorry for running away without thinking. He only tried to return my handkerchief. How could I be so rude?
いや、構わない。よくあることだ。
Oh no. Do people frequently run away from you because they think you're scary then, Ion?
イオンは迫力あるからな。
Eon,
元
not
治
Ion.
安維持隊なんだってさ。強そうでかっこいいだろ？
Eon. A soldier who was once part of the public security forces. You can describe him in 3 words: taciturn, expressionless, and curt. He joined Circus on orders of his superior. He is polite, but his tough appearance often scares children into crying, and that is a source of anguish for him. Oh no! Public security officer. So that's why.
そうだな。こう言っちゃ悪いが、その顔で睨まれたら何もしてなくても逃げたくなっちまうかもな。
Brady, that's rude. Though I had just been as rude too. Suddenly.
こっちだよ。捕まえてみろ。
Careful! A child running while looking the other way crashed into Eon. And is probably going to run in the opposite direction as fast as their little feet will carry them.
その、大丈夫。
Oh no! Why do I want to give him head pats suddenly? He looks so deflated.
ほらな、よくあるんだ本当に。イオンは強そうだからな。
I was actually in awe that Vilio could make such a statement in this awkward atmosphere. Hello, kind of foxed, and thank you. And yeah, okay, Drag, You got me there. I do in fact want to give everyone head pats. Actually, to be precise in this game, I want to bury my face in Radie's fluff. But...
いいよ。改めて紹介するぜ。この二人は今夜泊まるリーベルの店員だ。
おう、ラディだ。よろしくな。
I'm Tifalia. Please allow me to apologize once again. Have a nice rest at our inn today.
ああ、よろしく頼む。
Ian nodded without a single change on his face before he turned to Vilio.
他の者たちへの伝達は済んでいるのか？
いや、これから探すとこ。
了解した。では、自分は先に宿の方に向かわせてもらう。
We're not... yeah, the game's obviously not just going to get us to pick them all up and have them hanging around with us, because that would be too much coding.
そっか。じゃあ、後でな。いいよ。
Ian gave him a small nod before walking off in the direction of Liba.
どことなく哀愁漂ってんな。
Is he a little dejected, maybe? The retreating figure of Ian seemed to be exuding an indescribable desolation. Or at least that was what I felt. Aw, poor guy. Alright, an alley or the plaza? Alley.
あんまり人がいないな。
And that's what I meant by too much coding. Having different story paths depending on who you picked up and when you met people would be a lot more work than just going, here are 3 individual scenes that you can do in whatever order you like.
こっちの裏道はいわゆる穴場でな。小さいけど安い宿がいくつかあるんだよ。
Some experienced travelers avoid the inns on the main street and deliberately come here. Penny customers at Liba are like that too.
なるほどな。で、あ、いた!
Oh, he's found his friend. Vilio suddenly yelled and began running. Vilio, wait up!
たく、自由な自称ドラゴンだな。
We hastily chased him.
おい、ザフォラ
Zafira. He finally stopped.
無駄に走るの早えな、あいつ。
おい、ザフォラってば。
Vilio waved his arms and shouted, and I looked in the direction he was facing. Oh. Switching over to not our POV.
彼は？
さあ、俺を知り合いか何かと勘違いしているようですね。
聞こえねえのか、ザフォラ。
すみません。誤解を解いておきたいので、今日はこの辺で。
わかった。ではまた。君から買う情報は精度が高い。これからも期待しているぞ。
An informant, huh? Vilio had been calling out to a lithe man clad in navy blue. Is that the sharp-tongued Zafira? Zafira, an information broker. Hey, I was right. Sometimes he takes on the persona of a friendly young man, but usually he's armed with a prickly personality and a sharp tongue. He likes acting on his own and hates wasting time. For some reason, he seems especially frosty towards Vilio. The man continued to ignore Vilio, but once he had ended his conversation with the other party, he finally turned around.
バカトカゲが。お前が出てきたトカゲの国では空気を読むことを学ばないのか。
Lizard brain! It's rude, but also accurate.
ザフォラがすぐ気づいてくれればあんなに呼ばなくて済んだんだぜ。今日の宿が決まったからそれ伝えたくて探してたんだよ。
それはご苦労様。いくらトカゲとはいえお使いをするくらいのおつむはあるらしい。次は人の話に割って入らないという最低限のマナーをその頭に刻むことをお勧めする。
Though he was courteous, every single word was as sharp as a thorn. No wonder Vilio said he's sharp-tongued. Vilio must have been used to this prickly attitude, however, because he prattled on nonchalantly.
リーベルって店わかるか？この二人そこの店員なんだけどさ。
まさか店員におもりされながら街中を探し回ってたのか？ずいぶんでかい赤ん坊がいたもんだな。
土地勘のない俺を助けてくれたんだよ。ザフォラと違って親切なんだ。
That was when Zafora finally shifted his eyes to look at us. Feeling a little pressured by his frosty gaze, I gave him a small nod. He's the antithesis to the friendly Vilio.
ジーニアに報告したら夕食は全員で取るから集合しとけって言われたぞ。
全くもって気は進まないが、団長命令なら仕方がないか。
Leader's decree. Orders of the leader, Junior. There are times when he dishes out the instructions that benefit Circus's operation, but that only happens once in a blue moon. Most only serve the interests of Junior, but as members of Circus, the troop is obliged to comply no matter how reluctant they are. I see.
そんなしけた顔すんなよ。うちはうまい飯、うまい酒、最高の寝心地が揃った店だぜ。
I love how our glossary word is booze. Booze. Beverages with alcohol. Something Rady can't go without. In Ashlotia, humans are only allowed to consume liquor after they turn 18. Ferris is famous for their beer, and Oriens is famous for their wine. So drinking age is 18 here, got it. I have no idea how old our main characters are. Yes, we may not be a luxury hotel, but we take pride in our food and hospitality.
めっちゃいい店だからな。絶対来いよ。
わかった。わかったからさっさとどっか行け。いい加減仕事の邪魔だ。
来なかったら今度は街の真ん中で名前呼んで探すからな。
Old enough to be working, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that sounds accurate, Nick. For I think a lot of places in continental Europe are the drinking age is that sort of thing, isn't it? Here in the UK, it's 18 for all booze, unless you're in a restaurant and you're having a meal, in which case I'm not sure if there actually is a technical drinking age. No, I think there is one, but I don't remember what age it is. It's not like it's something I've had to worry about in a very long time. 16 but with the parents, yeah, yes. I feel like that's something around the with a veal sort of thing, right? I don't know. Yeah, I'm well beyond having to worry about those restrictions. I also don't typically drink very often.
「これ以上恥をさらすのはやめろ。リーベルだな。
あ、よろしくな。
Zafra turned on his heel and walked away at a brisk pace. He said he was working?
ああ、ザフォラは情報屋なんだ。多分その仕事だと思うぜ。
Information broker. A line of work that involves the trade of gathered information. Due to the work involved, they are often the targets of enmity. Yep.
はあ、なんかめんどくさそうなやつだな。
Well, let's do our best to make him feel welcome anyway. A seed of anxiety sprouted in my heart as we left the area. Right. Let's go pick up our last member. This must be the guy who's like water. After that, we continued to walk around near the plaza. Reedy tilted his head, intrigued by something.
なんか超強い水の魔力を感じるな。珍しい幻獣でもいるのか？
いや、多分パスハリアだ。あいつ水の精霊と契約してるらしくてさ。
Water spirit. Spirits. When one of the four elements, fire, wind, water, or earth, gains a will, they're called spirits. They spawn spontaneously in places around the world that have a lot of their element's mana ambiently in the environment. Not all humans can see spirits. Many children can, but with age they slowly lose this ability. If the elemental mana of a spirit depletes to a certain level, their bodies might shrink, and they could even dissipate. For this reason, small spirits mostly stay within the bounds of their territory. Unless they have a reason to, spirits don't tend to show hostility towards humans. Really? This Pascalia is a spirit contractor? Amazing! Spirits contracts. When a spirit and a human agree to be a part of one another's lives, they form a strong bond called a contract. This means that only humans with the power to communicate with spirits can form contracts. When a contract is formed, the human needs to offer something in exchange. The spirit normally chooses the offering, and usually they tend to prefer items related to their own element. In return, contractors are able to use magic of that spirit's element. After a contract, the appearance of the human changes in some way, and it can be minor or major. The stronger the contract spirit, the more striking this change is. Like fucking ReZero, probably. It's been a long time since I watched ReZero, and I only watched the first season.
Oh? 何がすごいんだ?
Humans have to communicate with spirits to form contracts with them. I can't see spirits at all, so I just had the thought that the world must look completely different to those people.
ティファリアは精霊見えないのか?
I can't, and I think that's the case for most people.
子供のうちは大体のやつが見えてるらしいけどな。ほとんどの人間は大人になったら見えなくなるんだと。
そうなのか。人が多い都会には少ないけど、ここに来るまでもちらほら見かけたぞ。
Villia really does. So Villia really does see a completely different world. It's a little late to be thinking this. It's so mystifying. Yeah, I guess Fey beasts can always see spirits then, huh?
なあ、あの人だかりの方から水の気配がするぞ。
あそこだ。ちょっと待っててくれ。連れてくる。
おい。って 言っちまった。
He's, well, a very straightforward guy.
まったく、ついていくだけでこちとらヘトヘトだわ。
And after I chatted with Rady for a moment... Ah, he's back. Vilio returned from the crowd, another man in tow.
お待たせ。こいつがパスハリアだ。
この人たちがさっき言ってた店員さん？はじめまして。僕はパスハリア。よろしくね。
He's very pretty. A gentle and naive young man. Anyone can tell he's formed a contract with a water spirit by his beautiful blue hair that's as clear as water. However, he doesn't remember much about when it happened. His enchanting looks and talent with water magic inspired Genia to scout him for Circus. What's with all of these beautiful men? We're playing an Otome game. Beautiful men are par for the course.
俺はラディだ。よろしくな。
As our cute little mascots. Nice to meet you. I'm Tifalia. Now, Vilio did mention he was like water, but I didn't think that would be so accurate. I'd never seen such hair before and I couldn't help being drawn to it. Yeah, I want to touch up.
泊まる場所が見つかったんだね。よかった。
Pashalia smiled, and coupled with his unique appearance, he looked otherworldly. I'd heard that the contract with the spirits changed the contractor's appearance in various ways, but it's the first time I've seen someone who has been affected so extremely. Does that mean his contract spirit is super strong?
呼びに来てくれて助かったよ。気づいたら囲まれちゃってて。
そりゃそのなりじゃね。
I was going to say, were people just surrounding him because he's super beautiful?
おじいちゃんやおばあちゃんがなぜか僕に向かって手を合わせるんだ。よくあることなんだけどね。
What? This usually happens?
パスハリアは優しいからな。
そういう問題じゃねえだろ。
ついおしゃべりしちゃってるうちにどんどん人が集まってきて、この町の人たちは積極的なんだね。
I think that's also a little off base. Perhaps his appearance wasn't the only thing that was ethereal about him.
じゃあこれからだけど。
The errand Spirea asked us to run.
まだどこかに行く用事が残ってるの？
Yes, we do.
じゃあ僕ちょっと疲れちゃったし、先にお店で待ってるね。
一人で行くのか？またさっきみたいな人だかりができちまうんじゃ。
That was my first thought. It's like, ah yes, he needs to go and rest and be out of people's sight, but isn't he just going to attract more people on the way?
うん、一人で行くよ。そのリーベルってお店、そんなに遠くないんだよね。
Yes, you only have to go straight down that street and then make a left turn.
それなら大丈夫だよ。心配しないで。
そうか？
迷ってそうだったらまた探す。
うん、その時はよろしく、ビリオ。じゃあ、後でね。
Please head straight forward. You'll find it immediately after turning left, okay?
まっすぐ行って左だぞ。間違えんなよ。
Why are we expecting him to get lost? Raddy and I couldn't help but feel a little worried, so we called out to him. In response, Pasalius turned around with a gentle smile. before leaving without another word. I know it's rude to think this about a person I've just met, but for some reason I feel nervous for him. Why only him when we didn't tell the others the directions? Because the others seemed like they could take care of themselves. Raddy seemed to share the same sentiment. We shared a meaningful look and a wry smile in silence. That took longer than expected.
ビリオがあちこち寄り道してくからな。
二人とも聞いたこと全部教えてくれるから楽しくてさ。
We've just been walking around town being bombarded by questions about everything, huh?
こうやってゆっくり歩き回ったのは初めてだけど、ここっていい街だな。
そうだろそうだろ。
やっぱり実際に自分の目で見ないとわかんないことってあるもんな。ちゃんと見て回れてよかった。二人ともありがとな。
My pleasure. Is everyone safely here? Well, actually, before we continue, I need to go get some more water. I will be right back. And I'm back. It is in fact rehydration time. When we returned to Liba, we found all of the other members waiting there, sitting around a table with Spiraeus cooking. Oh, no.
蜂蜜？お肉に蜂蜜使うの？
Look at that food! You're doing very well with your English for someone who doesn't have it as a first language.
ああ、騙されたと思って試しに食べてごらん。
すごいお肉が柔らかい。これなら僕も食べられるかも。
まあ庶民の味にしてはなかなかのものなんじゃない？
That's a backhanded compliment, Junior.
あとはワインがあれば完璧ね。
ねえ、ザフォラも食べてみない？欲しいものがあれば勝手に取る。俺の食事ペースを乱すな。あったかいうちに食べた方が絶対美味しいのに。
ほら、いいよ、もうそんなとこに突っ立ってないで一緒に食べなさいな。
ああ、全員揃ってから自分もいただこうと思う。
Ian doesn't want to start eating until everyone's at the table, huh? Now that they're all together, looking at the whole team, I have to say they're a very flamboyant bunch.
しかし統一感のねえ集団だな。一体何の集まりなんだ？
そっか、まだ言ってなかったんだっけ。俺たちは王子のために集まった国直属のパフォーマンス集団。
Answer directly to the king, do you?
サーカスだ。
A performance group?
パフォーマンス集団。
Circus? Brady and I stared at each other, bewildered. Then, perhaps noticing our presence, the people at the table joined the conversation.
人を呼びつけておきながら随分と遅い到着だな。おかえりビリオ。先にご飯食べさせてもらってるよ。
ビリオも空いている席に座るといい。
ああ、腹減った。
We watched as Vilio joined the group. Then Brady and I shared a long sigh.
よくわかんねえな。疲れたな。
We have returned Vilio to his friends. They can look after him now. We can take a break. Brady, get some rest. I'll go help Spirea. In any case, they were our customers. I need to show them Leva's brand of hospitality and keep them satisfied. And after a while, with stomachs full from Spirea's signature cooking, they began a discussion over after-dinner tea.
それじゃ落ち着いたところで明日の最終打ち合わせでもしましょうか。
明日なんかあんのか？
広場で公演を行う予定だ。
そうそう、でかいテントを建てるから行ったらすぐわかると思うぜ。
Kind of like I mean, their performers, yes, but I don't think this one has stat building like Jack Chan did. And what are you going to do?
すごくてかっこよくてワクワクする感じのやつだ。
So what's that? That doesn't answer anything. Actually, I haven't heard so much of a rumor about any event in the plaza.
そうだ、あんたたちも明日 よかったら見に来てくれよ。
Huh? Well, I have work, so...
店は大丈夫だから、二人で行っておいで。
Superior's like, please go live your life a little bit.
スピリアもこう言ってることだし、休憩時間にでも見に行こうぜ。
If you two say so. I'll come watch you guys tomorrow then.
やった、待ってるぜ。ってことでみんな、明日はガンガン盛り上げような。
あ
あ。できる範囲で頑張ろうね。
まあそこそこ頑張りつつエレガントにね。
I feel like there's a really big gap between Vilio's level of motivation and everyone else's. Are they really going to be fine? After that, they talked animatedly about their plans for tomorrow. Eventually, Genio returned home to rest. But the liveliness carried on for quite a while until the others retired to their rooms. Also, I'm guessing that at this point we have met all of our love interests, I think. So who are you guys liking at the moment? The next day, they left their rooms early in the morning to prepare for their performance. Then in the afternoon, Rady and I... Huh? Where did this tent come from? This wasn't here yesterday, was it?
なかったな、間違いなく。
We'd headed to the plaza at the time they told us to and found a towering tent. The area in front of the tent was jam-packed with curious onlookers.
まあ、突然こんな派手なテントが現れたら人も集まるわな。
Too early to say, huh? I think I know who I want to go for, but I almost don't want to say because I'm gonna jinx it. We know how rarely I actually end up on the route I wanted to be on. Jack-Jian was very much a exception in that case because they made it very, very easy to pick where you were going. Yeah, I was worried whether they'd get any customers without advertising, but I guess I was just being a worrywart.
いや、よーく聞いてみ。
Oh?
なあ、なんだこの怪しいテント。
Yeah, I get on the route I need, not the route I want. That's true. We've never ended up on a route I've hated, at least.
わからないけど、さっきやたら派手な格好の連中がこの中に入ってったよ。
じゃあ僕、中見てくる。こら、危ないからダメよ。中に何があるかわかんないでしょ。
Everyone's only looking at it from far away. They're not going in at all. Entering the tent in this atmosphere required some courage on my part. The show must have started by now, right? Should we go in to take a look?
まあ、昨日あいつらに行くって言っちまったしな。
I'm guessing that the fantasy text above the entrance says Circus. We approached the tent as inconspicuously as possible. Then, lifting the curtain at the entrance, we sneakily slid inside. And then we saw a dragon! The interior was just as extravagant as the exterior, and at the centre of the brightly lit stage stood a being with a majestic aura. It had a towering crimson body, dignified horns, powerful wings, and large claws. I had thought that they only existed in fairy tales and picture books, but my eyes now told me otherwise. It was...
Doragon.
Vilio was telling the truth. We could only stand there, mouths agape. Then the red dragon noticed us. Ah! Our gazes collided into each other. The dragon thrust his head towards us before opening his mouth wide and... roaring at us, apparently. Whoa! Then, that evening... well... It's the picture of gloom. A feast for both the eyes and the stomach was spread on the table, courtesy of Spirea, who puts all her skill. It is actually a different set of food. Like the previous night it was like a lasagna where that pizza was, and like chicken wings where that like entire chicken was. In contrast, the circus members that sat on the chairs each had dark, overcast faces. I can't blame them. It caused quite a stir and turned into such a mess. Wait, did Vilio set fire to the tent? Is that what happened? In the end, even the public security forces had to be deployed.
お前、テントごと広場を火事にでもする気だったのか?
Okay, he burned down the tent and the entire plaza. Oh dear.
悪かったって。お客さんが来てくれたと思ったら嬉しくて、つい。
Oh no! He was so happy that we turned up that he burnt everything to a crisp.
ついで死にかけるなんてとんだ喜劇だな。
被害が最小で済んだという点において、ほぼ観客がいなかったのは不幸中の幸いと言えるのかもしれない。
でもお客さんが全然来なかったのはちょっと寂しかったな。やっぱり宣伝してなかったのがダメだったのかな。
You think? Yeah, you should have advertised your show properly beforehand. What were you even thinking?
そもそも宣伝もせずどうするつもりだったんだ。
私たち国直属のロイヤルな集団なのよ。
Yes, but no one knows that, Ginia.
宣伝なんてしなくても、あのテントさえ立てれば人は勝手に集まると思ってたのよ。
確かに人は集まっていたが、
中に入ってくれなきゃ意味ないよね。
今回はあくまでリハーサル。失敗でも別にいいの。次があるんだし。
なら次は宣伝するんだな。どうやって？
人は勝手に集まるでしょ。
Dude, we've just established that people will not just show up. Learn from your mistake.
何も考えてないならそう言え。
Sorry for interrupting your meal. Here's dessert. Please eat some sweets. Hopefully they'll lift your spirits a little.
シュワリア。
美味しそうだね。
いただこうかしらね。
Although the results didn't turn out to be, well, ideal, what kind of performance was it supposed to be if everything went right?
あらあら、気になっちゃう？仕方ないわね。今回は特別にジーニア様が答えてあげるわ。まずはあのテントにも負けないくらい華やかな衣装が人々の目を引くの。もちろん全員特注ね。それから最先端の魔法具と色とりどりの光が私を。
Mystic tools. Made and powered by mystic stones, these devices can artificially recreate spirits' magic. Even humans without mana can use these tools to cast spells. They are widely used among the common people and have become essential items in everyday life. Alright.
じゃなくて、私たちを輝かせるのよ。
You still haven't described what you were intending on doing on that stage. Aside from looking pretty.
あと、今回の目玉はもちろんドラゴンになったビリよね。題して、会いに行けるドラゴン
Your friendly neighborhood dragon. Your friendly neighborhood dragon. That gets my blood pumping.
でしょでしょ。それからね、幻想的な水魔法のショーに思わず笑っちゃうクラウンのトーク、迫力満点の演舞なんかも見せちゃうのよ。
What a magic. A clown? We have the definition of clown here. A performer that entertains by wearing a flashy costume and acting in a comical manner. And then martial arts demo. One of two things. Practicing martial arts or performing in front of others using martial arts techniques. They all sound exciting. With all that space you have in the tent, you could probably let guests ride around on the dragon's head and ride on the dragon's head and fly around. That is probably a bad idea, Tavalia. Oh, and if you allow people to ride on the dragon's back as part of the show, the kids would love it.
俺の背中に？めっちゃいいアイディアだな。
That... I'm not sure that's a great idea. That sounds like a, health and safety violation in the making. What tent? That's a very good point. What tent? The tent that's been burnt down. I hope they have another one. Seeing magic and martial arts up close is also a rare opportunity, so I think plenty of people would be intrigued. Plus, girls tend to love romantic settings, so... If you set up special seats for couples, for example, I think you'd attract many people.
なるほど。内容に合わせた席を用意するのか。そうすれば人が訪れやすくなるんだな。
Then if you have mystic tools that can amplify your voice, all the spectators can hear your voices from the stage too. So you could even perform a story.
みんなが知ってる絵本とかの物語を演じるってこと？それならたくさんの人に楽しんでもらえそう。素敵だね。
Why does it sound like Tifalia is putting a lot more thought into this in approximately like 30 seconds than they have ever? and oh, oops. It sounded so fun that I just kept rambling.
久々に出たな、マシンガンアイディアトーク。
Idea barrage. One of our heroine's habits in which she just keeps coming up with new ideas. She acquired this habit while trying to come up with a way to make Liba's customers happy. Those who don't know this side of her are usually surprised the first time. Sorry, I'm an outsider, but I ended up running my mouth. Oh, what do I do? I butted in so much they might have been annoyed. I'm really so...
あなた、サーカスに加わりなさい。
Huh?
そうだよ、それがいい。
まあ全部ジーニアに任せとくよりはマシかもな。うんうん、君がいてくれたらとっても素敵なショーができそうだよ。
そうと決まったら早速契約に移りましょう。
Now we're back around to where we began.
前略項はオツに対して中略、旅に出ている間の保証は以下略。
What? Me joining this group, and did he just say journey? Wait, hold up. What do you mean by join? What's this about a journey?
俺たちサーカスは王子のために集められたってのは言ったよな。俺たちの目的は王子のためにフローラって花を咲かせることなんだ。
How do you make a flora bloom? Flora?
初めて聞く名前だな。
フローラというのはクロリスを改良して作られた魔法花だ。
A new type of mystic flower developed after researchers proved chloris nectar effective in curing the prince. This flower's seed is crystallized from chloris nectar and can only bloom once it has absorbed enough human happiness. Filled with enormous amounts of mana, a bloomed flora has a much more potent effect than a chloris. However, getting a flora to blossom takes a huge quantity of emotions. Circus's mission is to make them bloom. So basically a mega chloris. Got it.
王子の治療により強い効果を期待できる特別なものだからな。フローラはね、クロリスと同じで喜んだ人たちの感情で咲くんだ。だから僕たちはたくさんの人に喜んでもらうために講演をしなきゃいけない。
それも5つの都市すべてでだ。
Each of the 5 major cities. We've got to basically make 5 of them now. The Major 5, the umbrella term for the 5 main cities in Escol... I think it's Escolita, I think, given how Asalia's name is said. The capital, Arthea, Calida, the Scholar City, Cultura, the Labyrinth City, Oriens, the City on Water, and Ferrus, the Jewel City. Yeah, I think it'll be... Yeah, it's probably only confusing because there's a whole bunch of specific to this, to the world of the story terms that we've got to deal with. Thank you for saying that you like my narration.
だけどご存知の通り、このオートでのショーは残念ながら失敗。
Yeah, I'm not sure how you thought it would work out.
原因はズバリロイヤルすぎること。
No, the reason for it failing is that you didn't advertise it at all, and so everyone thought your tent was really suspicious and didn't come in, and when we did come in, the tent burned down.
つまり、今のエレガントな私たちに足りてないのは、あなたみたいな庶民なのよ。
Oh, I see. What you meant by your too royal and whatever the other word was you used was you're out of touch with regular society and you need help. Got it. Huh?
というわけで、あなたをサーカスの広報係兼プロデューサーに任命するわ。
Oh no, PR manager. You're thinking 10 to 15 sessions, huh? That sounds like a lot. Although, no, I think it would be less than that, but I could be wrong. Help me to the PR manager and and the producer. Oh, wait, stop right there. That's impossible, I can't. I'm just an average run-of-the-mill waitress. I could never accept such a special job. Raddy, Spire, help me! How many sessions did it take us for Jack Jan? Although that one, Jack Jan felt fairly long to me, so probably it would be better to check a different Otome game. Yeah. I looked towards them with pleading eyes and Spire spoke up for me while looking exasperated.
この子を高く評価してくれたのは光栄な話ではあるけどね。そう簡単にうちの看板娘を持っていけると思うのかい？
あら、もちろん簡単にとは言わないわ。確か昨日お店の話をしたとき、古くなったキッチンを改装したいとか言ってたわよね。
Jack Jan was 13, so yeah. I don't think it's going to be more than that.
資金があれば旅行に行きたいとも言っていたな。
さっきもオートの観光ガイドを見て、うちも記事が載ればねってつぶやいてたね。
それがどうしたってんだい？
サーカスの役目を果たせば国王が直々に願いを叶えてくれることになってる。
So that's why you're all here. To get your wishes granted, as it were.
キッチンの改装も旅行も記事もそれこそ思いのままだろうな。
そりゃ夢みたいな話だけどね。だからってこの子に大変な思いはさせられないよ。
何も一生働けってわけじゃないわ。すべての都市で公演を成功させて花を5つ咲かせれば旅は終わり。
Yeah, but that requires us to have 5 successful shows.
逆に言えばそれだけで何でも願いが叶うのよ。
Raddy is suspicious. When he puts it like that, it does sound like a great deal.
決まりね。それじゃあ早速。さあ、ここにサインしてちょうだい。
Wait, please, wait. It's only to think about it.
大丈夫。何も迷うことなんてないわ。わかってるでしょ。
Hey, at least give her enough time to read the contract.
そこに名前を書くだけで、あなたの欲しいものが手に入る。
No bullying people into signing contracts they haven't read. It's rude. I mean, true, I've been a little bothered by the wear and tear of the tavern lately. And Spire's always busy and I want to help her get a chance to travel and relax, but...
だからほら、さっさとサインしてしまいなさいな。さあ、早く。あなたはうちにぴったりの人材なのよ。それに、コリブス王子を救うのも、この国に住む人々みんなの悲願。良識ある国民ならそのために尽力するのが普通じゃない？
Honestly, I kind of want to read what this says. It gets a little too squiggly further down there. But it's definitely just a simple substitution cipher. With symbols. So I probably could work it out. It's English in a substitution cipher. Like the top line there between the squiggles on the sides says contract. Which I can tell because that first symbol is like the C that was on the front of the tent for Circus. And like a lot of the letters look very close to their English things, like that pointing up arrow, pointing down arrow sort of bit looks kind of like an N. And it's in the right place for the N. But there's no saying that it's not just going to be entirely gibberish. The bit below the signing bit starts by saying contract again. And then I'm not really sure. I think once I got a hang of the letters, I could probably read them. I don't know if you guys ever read the Artemis Fowl books, but what I really loved about those is along the bottom of all the pages of the book was a was a ciphered thing, which you could work out translating if you figured out what all of the symbols were. It was easier to figure out what the symbols were if you picked up the hardbacks, because if you took the dust jacket off of the hardback, the book title and stuff was written in the cipher. So you could sort of work it out from there, and then you had to sort of figure out the missing letters. I think the first 3 books were entirely different sets of symbols, but then after that it was all in Gnomish. I got to a point where I could just read it without even trying to write it down and translate it. I probably couldn't do it exactly anymore, but... Natural? It was natural that an Arthia citizen would try to save the prince. It would even benefit our tavern and Spirhea, so joining Circus might really be... natural? I'm a code cracker. Well! A symbol substitution cipher is easy enough. But I'm not good at anything more complicated than that. Thinking that, I decided to reach for the pen, but that was when...
待て、一旦そこまでだ。
Raddy, the voice of reason.
あんたらの事情は分かったけどね。こんな大事なことを急に決めるのは酷ってもんさ。この子の気持ちだってある。考える時間をもらいたいね。
Spirhea and Raddy cut into the conversation.
まあいいわ。
Yes, don't pressure someone into signing a contract. Give her time.
明日また来るから、それまでに決めておいてちょうだい。いい返事、期待してるわよ。
After that conversation, Eugenia returned home and the others in the group all retired to their guest rooms. We closed for the night, which draped a veil of silence over the tavern. Then Raddy, Spirea, and I talked.
全都市を巡って講演をして花を咲かせる。その集団の広報係をしろって話か？
Public relations manager and producer. I think that's what they said.
願いを叶えてもらえるってのも急な話すぎていまいち実感わかねえよな。
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like a fantastic opportunity, but the crux of the matter is that their show is an important job, one that has a part in healing the prince's heart, right?
確かにそう言ってたね。
There's no way I could take that on. And I think they gave that offer to me probably just on a whim or as a joke. Yeah, that's it. That must be it. Once I realized that, things were simple. Okay, I've made up my mind. I'll decline them formally tomorrow.
ティファリア。
The only place I belong is Liba. I could never go off on a journey with those strange people if it meant leaving you two. Never.
ま、そうだな。あいつらと旅なんて身も心も持たねえだろうし。お前がそう決めたならそれでいいんじゃねえの？俺も加勢してやるから安心して断れ。
Somehow, I doubt they're going to accept a no. Okay, thanks, Raddy. Must say, though, they really surprised me today. First a real dragon, then a spirit contractor, an information broker, and an ex-officer. Even the leader's a noble.
何考えてあのメンツにしたんだろうな。
Having traits that set them apart can also work in their favor. If they performed well, it'd be an amazing show. It's a little wasteful considering that.
ジーニアに聞いたぜ。人間って宿に泊まるときは恋バナのために他の部屋に押しかけるのが礼儀だって。
Lilio!
だからバサリアも連れてきてやったぜ。
あの貴族、何を吹き込んでくれたんだ。いいから自分の部屋に戻れ。
Of course he was barging into Sapphira's room.
恋バナって言葉の意味、ビリオ絶対分かってないよね。バスハリア、お前も当たり前の顔して俺のベッドに座るんじゃない。
相変わらず賑やかだね。
たくあいつら今何時だと思ってんな。しゃあねえ、ちょっと見てくるわ。
I listened to the ruckus upstairs and smiled to myself. They said they're going to visit all the main cities, and I have a feeling that they'll bring trouble wherever they go. As I said that, I turned around to face Spirea again, but...
本当にそれでいいのかい？
Huh? Spirea was looking right at me with a stern expression. Why ask that? I mean, that's a silly question. I don't even have to think about it. My home, the place I belong, is Liba. I can't even imagine my heart going anywhere else.
ああ、その気持ちは嬉しいし、あんたならそう言うと思ったよ。でもね、ティファリア、最初から選択肢がないのと選択肢がある中でこの店を選ぶのは似てるようで全く違うんだよ。
Spirea? For some reason, sorrow flickered through the eyes staring into mine. Why is she sad? Is it my fault? I felt lost and didn't know what to say, but Spirea spoke to me in a gentle tone.
今でも覚えてるよ。あんたが初めてこの店に来た時のこと。1歳か2歳の頃だったか。突然、弟夫婦があんたを連れてきた時は本当にびっくりしたもんさ。
I remember that too. My parents would take me here only on occasion, but I loved it every time.
ああ、あんたは店に来るたびにさ、ニコニコしながら手伝いをしてくれて。 常連客にも可愛がってもらって、今とは違う意味で看板娘だったね。
Yeah. Feeling a pang in my chest, slowly I unraveled the threads of my memories. My warm memories of over 10 years ago, back when Mum and Dad were still alive.
信じられなかったよ。あんたの両親が死んだこともだけど、あの明るくて元気だったあんたが今のコリブス様と同じようにまるで人形みたいになっちまって。
It was a painful memory that even a close-knit family like us avoided. I'd apparently sealed away my heart due to the shock of losing my parents, reduced to a doll without emotions for a long time. I couldn't remember most of what happened back then. It was a black void in my memory.
とにかくなんとかしなきゃって、あの頃はただただ必死だった。
I have absolutely no stage play or theatre experience. Outside of doing drama at high school back when I had to. And I was really, really bad at it. But I do really like voice acting games. It's fun. So I think it's just a skill I've gradually learned. Yeah, as Drag says, a ton of streams worth of doing the VA. That's true. Practice. It probably helps that I listen to a lot of audiobooks as well, so, and watch a lot of anime. So I guess I sort of pick up on things as well. I don't know. Spirea said gently, and then gave a rueful smile.
ま、と言っても私は大したことはできなかったけどね。
Hey, don't worry about interrupting with questions, that's fine.
何年もかけてあんたの心が癒されたのは、ずっとそばについててくれたラディのおかげだからさ。
Ah, the healing floof of Raddy. That's not the case at all. Raddy isn't the only one. It's because you too were around that I became who I was today. On that day when my emotions came back to me in shards, you made pancakes for me and I'll never forget the taste. Once I had been at Liba for a few years, thanks to my family, my heart began to move forward from its frozen state. However, important pieces were still missing, and I'd spent every day in a daze.
今度店で新作メニューを出すんだ。味見だけでもしてくれないかい？
Taste?
そう。昔から作ってあげてた。あんたが大好きなメニューさ。
It tasted very sweet and very kind.
どうだい、ティファリア。おいしいかい？
It does. Tears welled up and slid down, seeing that.
そうかい。よかった。
Spirea seemed to be overwhelmed with emotion as she hugged me tight. At the same time... Oh. A chloris bloomed delicately, fueled by the embers inside my heart. Aww. Spirea. Swimming out of my memories, I opened my eyes. Spirea had the same tenderness in her eyes as back then as she leaned in close to me.
早いもんで、あんたがうちに来て10年。今や立派なうちの看板娘だ。店主の私に負けないくらい この店や客のことを考えてくれてる。でもあんたは本当にそれで幸せなのかい？
It is. It really is. There's no way that I'm not happy. My dearest family is with me. I have a job that's really worth doing. And if these ordinary days continued forever and ever, that's more than enough.
でも分かってるんだろ？ずっとだなんてありえないって。
She forced me to face something I'd tried to ignore, and my words ground to a halt.
私はあんたの家族だからね。見てりゃ嫌でもわかるんだよ。朝起きて仕事をして夜眠る。そんな普通の毎日が崩れることをあんたは極端に怖がってる。両親が生きてた頃のあんたは今とは正反対だった。何にでも興味を持って普通と違うものを見つけては目を輝かせて追いかけていって、あんたの両親とそっくりの好奇心にあふれた女の子だったのにね。
But everyone changes as they mature into adults. Rather than seeking out the extraordinary, they learn to cherish the everyday happiness they once took for granted.
ティファリア、自分を騙すのはやめな。
Tifalia is afraid of change. That's definitely it. And I don't blame her.
あんたは両親を亡くして失った普通にしがみついてる。普通から一歩踏み出すのを怖がってる。そうだろ？
That's not... My sentence died in my throat. I couldn't fully deny it, and my objections wilted as I hung my head. Why did she have to say that now? But then... The scent I loved more than anything else enveloped me in a tender embrace. Aww.
あんたはとってもいい子だ。実の親じゃなくても私の自慢の娘さ。
Hugs. We like hugs.
ラディもそうさ。私とあんたたち二人、何より大切な家族だと思ってる。でもだからこそ思うんだよ。その家族って言葉があんたを変な意味で縛り付けてるなら、本当の思いを押し殺してまで手の届くとこにある幸せだけで納得させちまってるなら、私の役目はあんたの背を押してその言葉から解放することだ。
And it'll probably do Tifalia good to get out and see the world, even if she comes back here in the end, right? Does she mean I can't stay here? Being with you and Raddy every day and laughing with our customers at Liba is already more than enough for me. But you're telling me to get out?
まったくバカな子だね。そんなわけないだろう。あんたがいろいろなものを見て聞いて、それでもここに戻ることを選ぶなら、それはとても嬉しいし幸せさ。
Yeah, as I said, it's perfectly fine if she comes back and decides that this is what she wants.
でも最初から未来の可能性に目をつぶってほしくはない。自分の居場所はここだけなんて自分を騙してほしくない。やりたいと思ったことには素直に挑戦してほしい。若い時にしかできないことはたくさんあるんだ。できることからは逃げずに全部やってみるべきなんだよ。
Spirea.
今回みたいなチャンスはきっともう二度と巡ってこない。本当は気になってるんだろ？あんたはあの集団の未来を思い描いたじゃないか。挑戦してみてもいいんじゃないかい？
But
あのね、ティファリア。子供が新しい世界を求めて巣立っていくのは普通。
ah,
そしてそれを親が快く送り出してやるのも普通さ。どんなに寂しくともね。だからね、行っておいで。外の世界を見て、いろんなことを知って、たくさんの人に会って、ここだけじゃ得られないものをたくさん経験しておいで。
Spirea is right. I'm scared of leaving this place. As if I'd lose my family again if I did. As if I might go through something painful again. I'm scared. But she sees right through me and knows that inside this coward is also a person poking their head out with intrigue. She's encouraging me to take that first step. Spirea.
Ah.
Now was my chance to take a step forward. And because I knew that, I could say the words that I'd ignored for so long. I want to try. Spirea tightened her hold on me ever so slightly. I hugged her back and gave her a squeeze. I'm still scared about leaving home, but I'll try. I didn't wipe the tears that stained my cheeks. I persisted, giving her my answer. You know, I wasn't ever forcing myself at all. Working here with you two makes me happy, and I won't allow anyone to say otherwise.
わかってるさ。
Yeah. I nodded lightly, and once again, Spirea held me in a tight hug.
二度と会えないわけじゃない。私はいつでもここで待ってるから。だから、行っておいで、ティファリア。
Raddy's point of view.
はあ、やれやれ。なあ、聞いてくれよ、二人とも。あの連中、散々騒いだ挙句、枕投げなんか追っ始めてよ。
Pillow fight, huh? I'm not gonna try and do snoring noises.
ありゃ、なんだよ、寝ちまったのか？
ああ、泣き疲れてね。やっと今眠ったところだよ。ってことでラディ、この子は旅に出ることになった。でもさすがに一人じゃ心配だから、あんたもついてっとくれ。
はあ？待て待て、俺のいない間に何話したんだよ。
Yes, Raddy, go with her. Be emotional support fluff.
何？ちょいと背を押しただけさ。親代わりとしちゃ寂しいけどね。
いや、ちょいとも何も。
ラディ、あんただってもうとっくに察してただろ。この子がこの場所にこだわりすぎて自分の気持ちを後回しにしてることに。一度でもこの店を離れたらまた家族を失うかもってね。
まあな。俺だって伊達に一番近くでこいつのことを見守ってたわけじゃねえよ。いつまでもこれじゃいけねえってそう思ったことも一度や二度じゃね
え。だから送り出すことに決めたんだよ。ここを離れても私たちは家族のまま絶対に大丈夫だってね。
そうか。たく仕方ねえな。
Did you want to get out of that one, Raddy?
こいつの面倒見られるのはスピレアか俺ぐらいしかいねえしな。ついてくのに依存はねえよ。
決まりだね。じゃあとりあえずこの子を部屋に運んどくれ。
How's a tiny fluff supposed to carry her?
はあ？俺の姿見て言えって、こんな愛らしい毛玉系小動物にどうやって運べって言うんだよ。
とぼけるんじゃないよ。あんたならできるだろ。 心配するのはわかるけどね。今はよく寝てるから大丈夫さ。
Has Raddy been keeping from her that he can actually be human?
仕方ねえな。
あんたのその姿、見るのはずいぶん久しぶりだね。せっかくなかなかいい男なんだ。その格好で接客でもしてくれりゃ、売り上げも伸びるんだけどね。
毛玉の姿の方が楽なんだよ。いろんな意味でな。
That's a nice voice. Hello.
じゃ、こいつは部屋に連れて行くから。スピレアもさっさと。
ラディ、あんたもそろそろいいんじゃないのかい？子供の頃ならいざ知らず、今のティファリアならあんたのこともちゃんと受け止められると思うよ。
まあそのうちな。いつか機会が来たらちゃんと話すさ。
You know, I've been wondering because I thought I vaguely recognized his voice. And I was just looking it up then, right as it went from beast mode to human mode. His voice actor also voices Floyd from Twisted Wonderland.
やれやれ、こっちはこっちで頑固者だ。まったく困ったもんだね。
たく、スピリアのやつ、言いたい放題言いやがって。そのうちにか。そんな日、本当に来るのかね。もし来たとしたら、俺は。
You like the art in this game? It's very pretty, isn't it?
はあ、人の気も知らねえで、すやすや心地よく寝やがって。こんなに成長したってのに、寝顔はガキの頃と変わらねえな。
Raddy.
No.
Look, as he runs, his long fur collects all the dust. Fully manual vacuum ready, on sale now, at a bargain price.
お前な。
What kind of a dream is she having?
大事な家族とか言ってるくせに割引で販売するんじゃねえよ。
Stop. Ready, ticklish.
たく、あの頃からずっとお前は俺様がいねえとダメだな。ほんと、手のかかるやつ。
Things moved very quickly after I made up my mind.
マイダリー、これでサーカスのアシスタントガールとついでにマスコットが誕生ね。
I thought I was a PR manager and a producer, not an assistant.
おい、ついでってなんだよ。
いやー、言葉のあやってやつよ。ま、改めて歓迎するわ。ってことで早速出発よ。荷物をまとめてきてちょうだい。
Hello, Hunter. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. How are you doing? Not right now?
サインしたばっかだぞ。
ごちゃごちゃ言わない。他のみんなはもう馬車で待ってるんだから。
Glossary entry time. Carriage. While commoners usually walk, they use public stagecoaches or ride with merchants to travel between cities. Each city is connected by a large highway. The carriage Circus uses is custom-made and exceptionally comfortable, and is drawn by a Sleipnir who remembers the routes. Ooh. So is a Sleipnir like the Sleipnir? Like, oh, am I going to be seeing an 8-legged horse? Well, we're not going to do a show here first. I'm guessing we're going to go around to the other cities while everyone forgets that we set fire to the plaza. What?
馬車はオートを出てすぐの場所に止めてあるから、荷造りしたらすぐに来てちょうだいね。
Ginia marched off proudly, not even allowing us a moment of protest. Raddy and I hurriedly scrambled to gather our belongings. Our farewell with Spirea was just as rushed, and we ran to the outskirts of the city where the carriage was apparently parked.
Oh, 来た来た。おい、ティファリア、ラリー、こっちだこっち。
なんだ、本当に来たのか。人のことは言えないが、よくもまあこんな集団についてくる気になったな。そういう言い方は良くないよ、ザフォラ。これから一緒に旅する仲間なんだし。ね、いいよ。
出迎えは笑顔で、とジーニアから言われている。
Then where's your smile? Yeah.
そう言ってるけどお前、かけらも笑顔じゃねえぞ。
Almost had Raddy's line right there.
みんなあんたたちが加わるのをすっげえ楽しみにしてたんだぜ。これからよろしくな、二人とも。
Oh. Chloris. Villier's radiant smile bloomed a flower, and warmth blossomed in my heart as well. Well, at least we know that Villier is genuinely happy we're here. Thank you, Chloris Flower. His happiness was genuine. He welcomed me with open arms and was truly excited to have us along, so much that his emotions manifested as a blooming Chloris. Villier sounds like a good Susie replacement, And if I had my choice, I'd be going for his route. Unfortunately. I checked for locked routes and it's just him. You have to go through all the other routes first. Anyway, me. A cheerful, gutsy 16-year-old girl. Okay, we do now know how old the main character is. Who works at Liba, her aunt's tavern. She was content with her peaceful life, but one day she was suddenly dragged into a mysterious group called Circus and became their producer. Ever since, her life has been anything but ordinary. Yeah, me too.
よろしくな。
Pilio may have been the only one who seemed excited, but that didn't stifle my joy one bit. I relished the excitement in my chest and Raddy gave me a reassuring smack with his tail.
心配すんな。この俺様がついてんだ。
Yeah, I think at the moment my feelings in regard of what route I'd like to be on I'm tempted by Raddies, because that could be fun. But also Eon. Considering, yeah, you haven't seen me post any more updates on Chakchian routes because I haven't had time to play it. Yeah. I basically have 2 Otome game backlogs right now. I have the backlog that is games I've already played a route of on stream and really need to finish. And I also have the backlog of games I've bought and haven't started yet.
一回りも二回りも成長した姿、スピレアに見せてやろうぜ。
Yeah, you're right. I decided that I would try, so I won't just do it halfway. Let's all do our best together.
さあ、いよいよ旅の始まりだ。
I took a step forward, one tiny step away from my happy, warm, normal days at Liva. What awaited me was the start of our adventure. Ooh, intermission. We have an intermission. Moments after we departed from Arthia, inside the rattling carriage, we finally made our belated introductions.
これからそこそこ長い付き合いになるんだ。まずは道連れにされる奴らの基本は知っておきてえしな。
Hello, victims. That's true. We haven't introduced ourselves properly either.
そうね。それじゃあまずは私から。
Also, I'm sad that we haven't been able to see the outside of this carriage. I wanted to see what a Sleipnir looked like. When I asked to see the Wooloo, the game showed me it.
改めて名乗らなくてもバッチリ知ってると思うけれど、私はジーニアよ。
Glossary. Genia. Due to his flashy and gaudy conduct, this noble has made a name for himself inside Arthia. A maverick who loves fashion and luxury above all else. Under orders of the king, he becomes the person responsible for Circus and the collection of blooming flora. However, he doesn't seem motivated no matter how you look at him, and everyone's exasperated by his conduct.
普段は城で働いてるんだけれど、エレガントさが知れ渡ってたのね。今回サーカスの団長を任されてるわ。
Circus. A group of performers led by Genia. They answer directly to the reigning king, King Vigonia. Other than Genia, the members are Vilio, Zafara, Pashalia, and Eon. No, was it Eon? That was how it was pronounced, wasn't it? With the addition of our heroine and Raddy, the roster comes to a grand total of 7. Their goal is to go to each major city and bloom 5 flora, which are essential to melting Prince Colivus's heart. Once they accomplish this mission, King Figonia will grant them 1 wish each.
困ったことがあったら私を頼ってちょうだいね。
I wonder what each of them want. I guess we'll find that out later. I will. Pleased to meet you, Lord Genia.
あはん、別にジーニアでいいわよ。敬語もいらないわ。これから長い付き合いになるんだもの。
Got it. In that case, if something ever comes up, I'll be counting on you lot. I mean, Genia.
ジーニアに頼って何かが解決した過去を俺は知らないから。
あら、そんなこと言っていいのかしら。この馬車も、あの魔法具のテントも、素敵な衣装も、私が手配したのよ。
Ah, the tent is magic.
快適な旅ができることに感謝してもらわなきゃ。
That's how it suddenly appeared in a day, huh?
どうりで幻獣が引く馬車なんて高級なもんに乗れるわけだ。
The tent in the plaza was amazing too. So that really was a mystic tool?
ええ、デザインはもちろん特注。搭載機能もすべて最新の魔法具よ。通常時はほんの小さな箱に収まるから持ち運びは楽々。設営も簡単でほとんど手間なく自動で立つの。
A tent that puts itself up. Excellent. And folds down into a tiny, tiny box. It builds itself? Wow.
なるほどな。だから一日で突然あんなでけえテントが現れたのか。
The mystic tools I usually used weren't too fancy. Things like lamps and ovens you'd see everywhere. Since we ran a restaurant, we had sets of slightly pricey cooking utensils too, but everything here was on another level. There were probably a bunch of high-end mystic tools with functions I would never guess just by looking.
なんて言ったってロイヤルですからね。使う道具もそれにふさわしいものでなくちゃ。ってことで次はパスハリア。自己紹介よろしくね。
うん。僕はパスハリア。出身はルースっていう小さな村だよ。
Reduce. The small village where Pashalia was born. There is a spring nearby where spirits live. I guess that's probably where he got his water spirit from, huh? Most of the villagers are farmers. Vegetables grown in Ruth are juicy and very sweet.
僕も君たちと同じでジーニアにスカウトされてサーカスに入ったんだ。村から出てきたばっかりでわからないことも多いし迷惑かけるかもしれないけどよろしくね。
ショーをするって考えるとパスハリアの容姿と力は強みだよな。
Yep, the fact that he's a water magician and very, very, very pretty is definitely going to help.
お前どれだけ強い水の精霊と契約したんだ？
When the four major elements, fire, water, earth and wind, gained a will of their own, we called them spirits. Element, the energy that makes up the world. There are four: fire, wind, water and earth. Together they make up the classical elements. They could be said to be nature itself, and they were everywhere. If a human formed a contract with one, they could borrow the spirit's power and unleash it in the form of what we called magic.
強い精霊と契約した人間は外見に変化が出るのは知ってるが、そこまで容姿が変わったやつは俺でも初めて見たぜ。
そうね。私も風の精霊と契約してるけど、髪の毛の色が一房変わったぐらいだし。
Ah, Genia has wind magic, huh? So that's where the little strands of purple are coming from then. Wind spirit. Wind spirits are the embodiment of freedom. They do as they like and are the hardest spirits to communicate with, resulting in them having the least contractors. Though forming a relationship or contract is difficult, once they are invested in someone, they will treasure their bond forever.
伝説の大精霊とはいかないまでも、上級精霊と契約してるのは間違いないわ。
Four great spirits. Incredibly powerful spirits representing each magical element. Celius, the great spirit of earth, Libera, the great spirit of wind, Leve, the great spirit of water, Valen, the great spirit of fire. Together they founded a city to grant Arthur's wish. Nowadays they're nowhere to be found. Higher spirits. Spirits absorb elements in nature, and over time they begin gaining their own form and will. Eventually they can become... I was doing so well. Eventually they can become classified as higher spirits after a lengthy life. Higher spirits can reveal their appearance to anyone they want at their own will, and can also engage in conversation. They obtain the ability to sustain their own the ability to sustain their bodies with their own mana pool, which means that they can travel outside their natural territory. Let's see.
うん、そうだね。多分そうだと思う。
Yeah, I guess that means even humans who can't naturally see spirits would be able to see a higher spirit if that higher spirit wanted them to see it. Probably?
それがね、契約した時のことを僕あんまり覚えてないんだ。気づいたらこうなってて。だから魔法の使い方もあんまり分かってなくて。
Oh dear. So he has the potential for very strong magic, but no idea how to use it. Lovely.
ジーニアが契約してるのは風の精霊さんだし、ビリオは火の属性の幻獣だから教えてもらうこともできなくて。
Alright, thank you for coming by, Silzil. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll be finishing up soon myself once I get to a decent point. I think after we finish talking to Pashalia. Reddy, you can use a bit of magic, right?
まあ幻獣だからな。でも俺は土の属性だからパスハリアの役には立てねえよ。
I was wondering which elements Reddy was. I assumed he might be fire because he's red. But nope, earth.
使える魔法もほんのちょっとだしな。
幻獣と人間じゃ魔法の使い方も違うし、そもそも精霊契約者なんてそういないわよ。
うん。だから旅の途中で強い水魔法を使える人を探そうと思って。難しいかもしれないけど。
So we need to find a teacher for Pashalia at some point. Well, we're heading around the world, so who knows? You just might find someone.
そうだね。僕も期待してる。そしたら安心できるから。僕からはそんなところかな。じゃあ次はザフォラどうぞ。
Right. Since he's passing over to Zafira, I'm gonna stop here before Zafira starts talking. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. It's been fun. We haven't actually had any choices to make yet. It's been quite a while without any choices, huh? I should be able to save here. You know, I hadn't checked. Yep. Save. This is a game that I can save whenever. Visual novels usually let me save whenever I like, so that's good. Alright. Yeah, I'll do the save now while I'm here. We are in intermission 1. Alright. Yes. Where was I? If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked below. The streaming schedule is posted both over there on social media and over here on YouTube in the community tab. This was the last scheduled stream of this week. There is a video scheduled to go up on Sunday because I'm busy with some elsewhere stuff. So on Sunday afternoon, the final part of the daily puzzles from Catriel and Millionaire's Conspiracy will be going up. So, yep. And I should be back for a stream on Monday, which is probably going to be Bacon Kaitos. We seem to have solidified that as a Monday thing, huh? So, hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thanks for coming, And this is Kalla signing out. See ya. Bye bye.